We respectfully request the Sangha great virtues for the sake of this assembly and all living beings. Please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach and guide us how to end birth and death, leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize non-birth. Cung thính đại đức tặng thịnh, vì thứ pháp hội cập nhật thiết chúng sanh, thịnh chuyên diệu pháp luân giáo đạo ngã môn, như á liêu sanh thoáng tư lý khổ đạc lạc, tất chân vô sanh. Homage of the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One. Nam mô Sa Nan Thô Su Chế Đô Ye Ở Lại Hư Đi San Miao San Pu Tô Chế. Nam mô Tha Thác Tha Tô Già Đà Già La Ha Đê Tam Miệu Tam Bồ Đà Toán. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma, in 100,000 million aeons, is difficult to encounter. Now I'm able to see and hear, I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual principles. Wu shang sheng sheng wei miao fa bai jian wan jie nan zao yu wo jin jie wen de shou qi yan jie ru lai zhe shi yi. O Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Great Master Jing Liang and Master YongHua, all good monks and nuns and all good knowing advisors, Emitofuo. 诸佛菩萨、精良大师、师父上人、各位出家人、各位上智师、弥陀佛。Chư Phật Quân Tác, kính thưa Thanh Lương Đại Sư và Thượng Kinh Hóa, quý thầy cô và quý vị thiện sư Thích Ca Như Đạo Phật. Hello, today, everyone. Today is 18th of December 2022. We are here gathered in Wei Mountain Temple to continue discussing the first chapter of the Avatamsaka Sutra. You're on slide 1901, talking about the dhyana, the fourth dhyana heavens, where it's the topmost heaven of the form realm, where these heavenly kings reside, and they were there to gather there to listen to the Honored One's lecture on the Avatamsaka Sutra. Celestial King eyes a wondrous adornment. So this particular heavenly king of the fourth dhyana, topmost heaven, has 1,000 hands and eyes, very much like he's most likely is practicing the Dharma similar to the 1,000 hands and eyes Dharma we have, and very adorned eyes. He probably saw a lot of wonderful, wonderful things in life. His lives. That's why he can relate it to us through his eyes. 903, Celestial King, brilliance derived from wholesome reflection. Okay, again, this, I think we like to change this a little bit from contemplation is not reflection. the word here, su wei, is actually more like contemplation than reflection, because it's a Buddhist term. Su wei is contemplation for us. Okay, so this one here. The commentary, wholesome contemplation. So he emits light from contemplating the good dharmas. Okay, only has good thoughts. He would do away with bad thoughts. He doesn't look at bad thoughts. He doesn't contemplate bad thoughts. Doesn't nurture bad thoughts. Okay, so his mind is free from bad thoughts, evil thoughts. Only wholesome thoughts. Yes, 9.
Thank you, Master. Following up from yesterday's awesome discussion, is it safe to say that when he contemplates without interruption?
Yes, of course. At his level, he can contemplate without interruption. Absolutely. That's what he does. These bodhisattvas, when they're there, they have this role that will forces them to be at the best, if you will. A lot of beings depend on them. As you can imagine, these are celestial kings of the entire heaven. So it's a lot of heavenly beings who are dependent upon them, dependent upon their clarity and their strength in order to guide them and to rule them. So therefore, usually these bodhisattvas are at the very best. They don't false think at all. They have to be at the very best. Okay, they're very professionals, if you will. Okay, for us here in the Sao world, the Master YongHua is the only person I know of who's kind of like that, whereas the rest of us, we false think quite a bit. Master YongHua doesn't. Okay, I remember seeing him a few times. I don't think I'm aware he's ever have any false thoughts. He's always too busy taking care of us. It's the same kind of situation. Difference being that his level is a little bit higher than these heavenly kings. Celestial king, delightful, great knowledge.
可爱乐大智天王
Okay, this particular heavenly king, he's very personable, very, very lovable, and he brings joy through his great knowledge. Like in our world, when we talk to people who are smart, who are knowledgeable, we enjoy the conversation, we enjoy the companies. Same thing with this person. He knows so much. He knows so much worldly dharma, transcendental dharma. This is the next level. You don't simply open your wisdom and only open your transcendental dharma. You also need to have worldly dharma, wisdom as well, in order to connect with people. So this particular heavenly king here, he has a lot of worldly knowledge, wholesome worldly knowledge, if you will. He's not interested in talking to you about how to invade another country or send rockets or to another country or terrorize them and so forth or impose a will upon them. He's more interested in talking about constructive things such as art, such as literature, such as architecture, such as medicine, such as such things that are designed to do good things for us. Does it make sense? This is the direction of their cultivation. They don't waste time. Oops, I should go back to slideshow. Celestial King, glorious banner of universal sounds.
五音庄严创天王。
So this particular heavenly king, it produces a sound. It can be heard everywhere, meaning that his teaching is not necessarily restricted to only his territory. If he wants to, he can make himself heard in other areas as well. Okay, and his sound is as glorious as a banner. 909, and celestial king renowned for utmost vigor.
以精进名称光天王。
Okay, 910. For this particular king, his practice vigor, and because of his vigor, he's constantly in samadhi, which emits light, and that's why he's very famous for that. Okay. 911. These and others acted as leaders of inestimable number of kings of the heavens of great self-mastery.
如是等而为上首，不可称数。
Okay, so there are countless number of such celestial king rulers present there, listening to Shakyamuni Buddha's lecture. They only, for our sake, they only listed this short version of the sutra. They only listed out 10 of those representatives. Actually, there are countless of them being present there. 913. And they all diligently contemplated the Dharma of marklessness and were impartial in their practices.
皆勤观察无相之法，所行平等。
Okay, I think we change a little bit here. Again, we should change a little bit for the sake of the English-speaking people, and practice equanimity. Let's agree on a little bit on the jargon here so that it's more consistent, make it easier for the readers. Okay. So, common denominator, very rigorous. Even though they're tired, they still come to the lecture. They drag the body, the feet, the sick bodies to the lecture to cultivate. No excuses. Okay? That's what diligence is about. Okay? And what are they diligently practicing? Marklessness and equanimity. Okay? We've been talking about this for quite a while. You see, there's Vicky right there who has no car at all. And fighting a traffic, fighting a temptation to go out. Anyway, so we're talking about these particular heavenly beings, kings, practice two dharmas very rigorously. One is the marklessness, two is equanimity. We've been talking about this. We've been reading about this. By now, I think most of you understand what they mean, don't you? Can we review what they mean? If someone asks you, some new person, like who's not very familiar with our terminology, maybe you're new to the Mahayana English Dharmas. Okay, what is marklessness and what is equanimity? Are they different or are they the same? You do this too, Jane, in your classes? You throw quizzes at people and randomly? You do. They get extra credits. They do. Okay. Go ahead, go for us.
Hello, Master. No mark is no attachment, and equanimity is no discrimination.
No.
I also want to ask a question. Why here the Chinese is 观察, and then translations contemplation. Is there 观察 is not very often used. And even just earlier, a couple slides earlier, there was 思维, which was translated into contemplation. So I'm just wondering, what does 观察 here means?
观察 here is actually contemplation and also investigate it as well. The other one, 思维, is simply focus single-mindedly. So that's also contemplation. So that's why the Chinese language is a little bit more precise than we can express it. So for all practical purposes, you can simply contemplate. It would work out to be the same thing. Okay, the 观察 here is cha, is investigate. So it insists. It has the meaning of the depth, or the more of an investigation sense, and simply just contemplation. So it could say contemplate and investigate Dharma marklessness, meaning that they want to push deeply into such knowledge. Does it help? Does it make sense to you, Chinese speaking speakers? Yes? Okay.
Yes.
So what is marklessness and what is equanimity? Can you give examples for people? Because these are very important Mahayana concepts that Hinayana practitioners are not taught, is not emphasized in their worlds, in their teachings. In the Hinayana teaching, for example, they taught about emptiness. Okay? So what is the difference between emptiness and marklessness? No marks. Does anyone know? See, when you practice Hinayana meditation, whether it's mindfulness meditation, kindness meditation, or impurity meditation, so forth, the objective is eventually for you to empty out, to experience emptiness. So that's why they don't talk about marklessness. Whereas we talk about marklessness, we talk about equanimity. They don't talk about equanimity. If everything is empty, why is there any need for marks? Why is there any need for equanimity? Everything is empty, so it's the same already. Does it make sense to you? So are there a superior Dharma where it's so much simpler, then why do you have to break it down in this way? Yes, 9.
Thank you, Master. I'm just going to preface this with, I feel like my answer is at the edge or reaching of my understanding. And I think it's so important to have an easy talking point for new people to Buddhism to describe this. To your point, everything can be empty, and the marks come from the ego that's perceiving it.
Okay.
If you don't have an ego, everything is markless. But I mean, unless you're a Buddha, you have, or a really high-level bodhisattva, I think you have some kind of ego. So my answer is without judgment and without bias would be an easy way to say this.
Say what?
To summarize marklessness and practicing equanimity.
Well, what about emptiness?
I would leave that alone.
I'm complicating the matters for you because people are going to ask us, hey, I'm from Hinayana, don't you Buddhists also learn about emptiness?
Yeah, and
why don't we talk about emptiness ourselves?
Oh, because they didn't ask, right? So until they
No,
ask.
look at all these big shots, these big wigs. They don't practice emptiness. You notice? We've been doing this for over a year now. There's nothing that says, I look at everything as empty. It's either marklessness or equanimity or whatever, light or sound or whatever, adornments, whatever. It's not emptiness. Why not? Go ahead, go for us.
Master, no mark. I think no mark means not attached to anything. Like empty, you can still be attached to emptiness. But no mark is, you're not even attached to the emptiness.
No mark is what?
You're not attached to the emptiness. While focus on emptiness, you can still be attached to the concept of emptiness.
Very good. Emptiness is not a mark. Excellent. Very good. What's your name again, honey? So proud of you.
One of your disciples.
Markless disciple, clearly. Excellent. Yes, 9.
Thank you, Master. We have a YouTube answer, and I would like to express my gratitude. We have over 50 people joining us in the YouTube audience this evening across all of our multiple language channels.
That's a Sunday night here in the U.S. and maybe Mondays on in the other time zones.
From Cordelia Lee, emptiness is dealing inside of our own mind versus marklessness is looking outside and working with other people, but yet not afflicted by those marks or those people.
Okay. Anything else? Okay. Very good. Okay. So we just agreed that when you use the word empty, isn't that a mark in itself? Empty versus not empty? And therefore, emptiness can become a mark. Then what is marklessness? You can't say it's empty. Because that would be circular reasoning. Yes, 9.
Thank you, Master. Could we say that marklessness is enlightenment?
It's just like explaining one jargon with another. Can you explain it in a way that non-Buddhist people can understand? Normal, ordinary people can relate to. Yes, 3.
Master, could it be that marklessness is no discrimination?
Okay, marklessness is no discrimination. Okay, so if you define it that way, does marklessness has a mark? Right? Or does it have no mark? Okay. You have to be careful. They're going to ask this, especially the scholars who ask you this. Your definition is not consistent.
Well, with that question makes me wonder if marklessness is without a mark.
Marklessness is without a mark. Okay. Does it in itself then have a mark of having no mark?
I don't know.
Yes, 9.
Thank you, Master. I sense you brought your A game tonight. Thank you for the challenge. Could we boil it down to truth?
Okay, you wanted to go with truth? Please tell me about your truth. We game, and we want to talk about truth. Let's talk truth.
Yeah, cool. Okay, awesome. So, for instance, not my words, right? So, great Master YongHua said that the Sharingama mantra is absolute truth. It is the big truth, capital T, right? So, marklessness could fall in the family of truth.
You're quoting something is probably incorrect. Because I know you don't read Chinese, so I doubt that he ever said that. Okay? Yes, 4. Nice try. You cannot throw names at me and expect me to be impressed. No. Yes, 4.
I just think marklessness is just Buddha nature.
Markless is Buddha nature. All right. What has Buddha nature? If the Buddha nature, then is it empty? You see, they're gonna get back at you and say, "Hey, man, hey, lady, stop avoiding the question. Just answer my question. Why won't you call it empty? Why you have to call it marklessness?" Yes, 9.
Thank you, Master. We have an eruption of YouTube comments.
Yes.
Okay, from Alta D. Markless means no perception and only seeing everything as part of the Buddha nature.
Okay, he doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't even know what the Buddha nature is. Could you please explain to me the way that you understand, not just throw jargons at me and expect me to interpret it for you? No, you have to tell me in your own words what you think.
Oh, I'm so glad you asked, Master, because Alta D brought his A game and he has a response ready.
Okay.
Alta D says, because Buddha nature is the pure substance of everything in the Dharma realm, it cannot have a mark, because if it did, that would mean it is not the pure substance of all.
That's wrong. Again, you're quoting something you have no clues. You cannot talk to me about the Buddha nature yet, Alta D. You have to speak from experience. You cannot simply read it from somewhere and say, that's what Master YongHua says. This is what this sutra says. I look at you and say, no, you don't know what you're talking about. You can't pull this gold wool over my eyes, because I know how far you can go, how much you can understand from the scriptures. Okay, next.
Thank you, Master. Next, from Mary Jo. Marklessness equals not attached to emptiness or non-emptiness.
Okay, that's slightly better. Non-emptiness. What's a non-emptiness?
Fullness.
You keep on throwing words at me that I don't understand. You make me think. What is non-emptiness? Okay, emptiness we all understand to a certain degree, but what's non-emptiness? It's not a typical jargon we use. Okay, next.
Okay, thank you, Master. Then forgive me, I don't read Chinese, but I believe this is Apple, Way Mountain Temple asking, do you need to be a fourth stage arhat or higher to be able to perceive marklessness?
My point here is that, can we explain these concepts in English so that everyone, doesn't matter what level they are, they can understand what we're talking about? Instead of, I explain to you using different jargons, because depending on your levels. When the Buddha spoke the Dharma, he's able to speak one sound. We're all able to understand at our own levels. That's the kind of Dharma I'm looking for. You have to be able to explain it so that everyone can agree on that and interpret it, have their own personal interpretations, okay? Depending on their depth level, depth understanding level. Is that it?
That's it for YouTube, but just to help facilitate the conversation further, I think this is profoundly important. Is it important to point out that even the heavenly kings of self-mastery are contemplating these two things? They're not even necessarily understanding them, they're contemplating them.
No, they understand what they contemplate. The contemplation helps them understand more and have developed depth of understanding through contemplation. Go ahead, JMT.
안녕하세요, 마스터. 무상이라고 한 것은 공에도 집착하지 않기 때문에 무상이라고 한 것 같습니다. 소승의 공은 자신은 공하지만 외부 상대 경계는 상호스님 뒤에 건 빼주시고 앞에 것만.
Markless means not to attach to the emptiness.
Okay. Okay? But then, aren't you attached to that attachment? To that non-attachment? Go ahead, answer from JMT. When you see you're not attached to emptiness, but then does it also say that you are also attached to that non-attachment?
제가 의미했던 거는, 그러니까 소승의 공은 자신이 무하다라는 걸 깨닫는 거고, 좀 전에 질문하신 무상이라고 표현을 한 이유는 내가 공하다는 것에도 집착하지 않는다. 그리고 외부 대상들이 어떤 고정된 실태가 없다는 것이다라고 저는 무상에 대해서 그렇게 대답하고자 합니다.
Okay.
In Hinayana, emptiness is to realize no self, but marklessness means not to attach to the emptiness of self, and then to realize that there is no fixed substance.
Okay. Here's the dangers of the concept of emptiness, or the pursuit in Hinayana of emptiness. When you seek emptiness, then you are able to empty yourself and empty for everything. And what all that remains is everything is empty. Yes? Is that clear? That's a Hinayana wisdom. That the old monk went to Thailand, that's what they understand. They're not attached. That because they're not attached, look at the kind of temples they have. Made of gold. They are adorned, very expensive. Okay, they have adoring multitudes of disciples are catering to them because they understand emptiness. When you understand emptiness, you're so rich. You have so many blessings. Is that clear? You understand the conditions of that Dharma right there, because they are so detached from it that they can handle the wealth, they can handle the gold, they can handle the multitudes of adoring disciples. They're not attached. Is it clear? Old monk, you understand that? That's why I send you there, for you to experience it. We don't have it here. Here, you go to your temples where you came from, they're all attached. They're all attached to their temples. They're all attached to their disciples. So he said, you are my disciples. You dare go to another temple, then you're no longer my disciples. That's an attachment to disciples. An attachment to mark. Yes? So whereas over there, they're so strong that compared to the other countries, Asian countries, you see the kind of wealth Buddhism has over there. Because there's so little attachments, so few attachments left. Understand that the support comes because of your level of wisdom, not because your level of manipulation, and how well you can sweet talk to disciples and make promises to them. It's detachment, non-attachment of these worldly things. That's why they're able to handle them without being corrupted. Is that clear? But they have one problem. I'm gonna not make many new friends. Okay? They have this one problem. They see themselves as having the understanding of emptiness, having all this wonderful support, that spans generations after generations of monks, successful monks, and they're still producing successful monks. Okay? And because of that, they don't see anything outside of it. They don't see that there's anything better than that. That's a real danger. But one of the reasons I send you there is for them to see there's something better than you. My disappointment is that they're not looking for it. I don't know about you, I'm very American in that sense. I want to look for something better than me because I know I'm not the best. Okay? Unless you see someone better than you, you will never improve. Agree or disagree? Agree. Only losers will look at themselves as the best. Because they are no longer making progress. You have to see someone's better than you. I see plenty of people who are better than me. These beings here we're learning about are better than me. I'm telling you that right now. That's why we're learning what they're doing. Make sense? How can you go through life thinking we're the best? You're happy with what you have. Then all it's going to happen to you, you will keep evolving and real reincarnation and suffer more and suffer more and suffer more and pass it on to your children and your grandchildren and on and on and on and on. Is that all your life is about? And that's my disappointment at them, because how do we in Buddhism are always looking for someone better than us? By making offerings. Do you understand? You start first by making offerings. That's why when they teach you, they do something, you say, oh wow, that's nice. That's wonderful. If you don't have the blessings, you will not be able to see it. The world is wrong in assuming they can simply steal from others and make a fortune and make progress on that. That's not making progress. That's sinking. You have to make offerings, folks. They failed to make offerings to him. That's why I'm disappointed. Because of that, I will never go there. Do you understand? There's nothing else for me to do there. I send you there just to test them out. See what kind of people can see you. Not many. And they're not making offerings to you. I'm offended that they didn't make offerings to you. They should be they should be offering temples to you, offering money to you, offering cars to you. Small red cars, maybe. But they didn't do any of those. I'm very disappointed. I'm not going there. I'm not going to those temples. I don't need their relics. I don't need their money. I just want to show them. I just give here, my disciple. You think you're better than my disciple? You're not. And that's what I want you to learn from me. Contrary to my master, who left behind a group of disciples and said, are we the best? I'm telling you, you are not the best. We are not the best. There are plenty of people who are better than us. We just can't see them. We don't have enough blessings to see them, unfortunately. So, you did the right thing. He learned it from me. As soon as he saw a chance to make offering to these people, he made offerings. Exactly our Dharma. I'm very proud of that. Even though they're not as good as you are, you're still supposed to make offerings to them. Even though you're not as good as I am, I'm still making offerings to you. Because of that, I can learn from you in your dharmas. You all have your own dharmas that I can learn from. Does it make sense to you? It's a two-way street. You don't just come and give to me. I have to give to you as well. And that's how we can learn from each other. It's wrong for a monk to assume I'm here and you're supposed to come and, I roll the thing out to you and I roll it up and you get it. It doesn't work like that. That's not Buddha Dharma. Buddha Dharma is two-way street. So no, you're not going there anymore unless you go shopping. Yes. One.
Thì cái hai cái ngày chót tụi con được giới thiệu qua một cái chùa đó là người ta cho ở mỗi người một phòng riêng mà có máy lạnh như là khách sạn. Mặc dù mình không có biết họ. Thì cái ngày sáng trước khi đi đó thì họ qua mình chào. Thì họ rất là lịch sự và họ kêu 2 chiếc xe van cho tụi con đi, một chiếc để chở hành lý, một chiếc để chở người. Và họ trả tiền hết rồi, không có lấy tiền mình luôn. Còn mình với họ không có biết gì hết, chỉ ngủ 2 đêm ở đó thôi. Rồi mình đi. Và sau con được biết là cái vị đó là rất là nổi tiếng ở thủ đô Bangkok và rất là giỏi ở bên đó.
Emitofuo Master, the last 2 days I was introduced to one temple that they allow each person to have their own room in the hotel with with the AC. Before we leave, they come over. We come over. We say goodbye to them. They are very polite. They even rent a van for us, and they paid everything, taking us all the way to the airport. That's it. I don't know what happened. I just there sleep for 2 nights, and later on, I know that there was one very famous guy in Bangkok city, and he's very good over there on that side.
See, that's our Dharma. We make offerings. We go out of our ways to make offerings to the worthy ones. Okay? So, that's the kind of temple we want to go to, not the other temples. The other temples would be creating offenses only because of the lack of respect. I don't go to places because I know they're creating offenses against me. Which is not good for them, meaning I'm harming them instead of helping them. Okay. Go forth.
Emitofuo Master, marklessness, I think we heard from Master said it is Mahayana and it is embrace all.
Okay. JC.
네, 김보경님 질문입니다. 연애를 시작한다고 해도 처음 시작은 좋은 감정이 생기겠지만 영원히 지속되지 않고 번뇌가 생긴다는 것을 알고 있어서 연애를 하고 싶다는 생각이 안 듭니다. 모든 것들에 있어 좋은 부분이 분명히 있겠지만 영원하지 않은 것을 압니다. 이것이 무상입니까?
When I started dating, in the beginning, it's a very good feeling, but it doesn't go last, and then I have many affliction. So I don't feel like to date with someone. So in everything, something is good, but it doesn't go last. Is it marklessness?
Is it what?
Is it marklessness?
No, is she talking about dating now? As long you're dating, you think of dating, it still has marks. Okay, JMT.
안녕하세요. 우리는 무상에 대해서 생각되어지는 것을 말해보겠습니다. 우리는 끊임없이 보고 듣고 맛보고 만지고 그런 외부 경계가 우리에게 끊임없이 올 때 그 경계에 집착하거나 번뇌를 일으키지 않는 게 무상이라는 생각이 듭니다.
When we meet the external conditions, external circumstance, we do not get afflicted and we do not attach to it. That is marklessness.
Okay. What about equanimity?
평등은 어떤 외부 경계에 우리가 마주하고 살 때 분별을 하면서 이렇게 나의 그 선호에 따라서 일하거나 말하거나 하지 않고 모든 사람과 모든 일에 대해서 차별 없이 대하는 게 평등이라고 생각합니다.
When we face the external circumstance, we do not discriminate. We do not act according to my preference. We do not discriminate everyone.
Okay, very good. Okay. So, yes, 9.
Thank you, Master. We have one answer and one half answer on YouTube. Oh, we just got another one. Okay. 2.5 answers. From Catholic Daniel Carrasco. I understand it as not being addicted or obsessed with anything. That is how I understand no attachment.
What about Apple? Next.
Okay. Oh, now they're coming in. Okay. From Null 1596, a half answer. Emptiness means you can drop it, but marklessness means there is no mark of it in your mind?
Okay. What else?
From He Fang. So they could save us and preserve themselves, and the reason that we could be saved is because emptiness is the nature of everything.
Okay. Okay, I want to go back to this point here. I want to emphasize for you that is That is, let's go to the definition. What if I give you the definition of marklessness and equanimity and see how what you think of it? How is that? My obsession is because I was influenced by Master YongHua. He is the first monk who is able to speak the Dharma with the minimal Buddhist jargons. He can explain a lot of Buddhist concepts without having to use a lot of vocabulary so that ordinary people can understand. Okay, so now we find ourselves into these concepts, of very Mahayana concepts called marklessness, called equanimity, and they sound like something non-Buddhist terms. Actually, it's a very Buddhist concept, so we better be able to explain it to them, to people, using simple vocabulary. So here's my definition of marklessness, and see what you think. Marklessness is no discrimination. Equanimity is no expectations. Okay, go ahead and shoot me. Disagree with me. Those of you who gave me answers, I disagree. I think is okay. What about emptiness? Emptiness is included in marklessness because when it's empty, there's no more discrimination. If you empty, you empty, you empty, then what discrimination is there? If I'm empty, then everything you have also belongs to me. Because we're all empty. Disagree? Never mind. Yes, 7.
Master, in this case, is it that we are attached to the mark of emptiness?
If I have no discrimination, how can I possibly be attached to the discrimination of emptiness? I'm attached to emptiness because I prefer emptiness over non-emptiness. Yes? Whatever it is. Empty versus what's not empty. But I say I have even such discrimination I don't even have. I don't discriminate between empty and what's non-empty. So tell me, where am I attached? Okay, think about that. Next, 9.
Thank you, Master. We have 2 comments from YouTube, but I want to respond personally.
Yes, go ahead. Personal response.
Thank you.
The clear advantages of having the microphone.
I will accept likes, subscriptions, and bell ringing on the YouTube channel to put you at the front of my personal responses to Master. And I'm watching, and I'm partial.
Yes.
Okay, so my personal response to you, Master, is I really like non-discrimination as a shorter word, and I would propose, instead of using a definition of what something is not, could we say impartiality? Could we say impartiality instead of no discrimination?
No, there's a very clear reason why I use non-discrimination. What I'm referring to, yes, you go into the 2 comments.
Okay. First, a little bit out of order, but Catholic Daniel Carrasco did respond, but he accepts that he is attached to Apple.
Then you don't understand marklessness. Okay, next.
Okay. From Gold Forest Apple, Marklessness is the reason why you won't be affected by anything, but emptiness means you will still pursue the states of emptiness. You're in the process.
Yeah, people who experience emptiness are attached to emptiness. And that's a very common mistake of these people. They understand emptiness, and it's so wonderful. They say, wow, this is nice. I don't need anything else. And that right there is discrimination. See that? I don't have to discriminate I'm not attached to anything, and it feels so nice. They don't realize it feels so nice right there is an attachment to that state of emptiness. It's very subtle. Unless you have wisdom, you will not be able to discern it, because it feels so darn nice. I tell you, it feels so much nicer than being in love with Apple. But then Daniel will never experience it, because he said, I prefer to be in love. You see? It's personal choice. Anyone else? Yes, 9.
Yes, thank you, Master. We have a short story from Leo on the YouTube comments. In the past, whenever my husband gets furious about something and yells like crazy, I interpret his behavior as an attack to me, and I get very upset. And I was very good at producing additional marks in my mind, so it clearly leaves me marks in my mind and body too. But nowadays, he still gets angry at me and my son and occasionally yells at other drivers on the road, but I don't interpret his sound behavior into something else. Instead, I just try to concentrate on my dantian and recite Buddha's name. Then I notice that nothing happened. It becomes no mark for me and leaves me almost nothing. I cannot say that I understand the marklessness, but I think I begin to have a glimpse of it.
Very good, exactly. Okay, she's beginning to experience emptiness. The husband yelling is like empty. How nice. How is that? Your husband yelling at you? Hey. Is that the wind blowing? Hey. Wouldn't that be nice? I don't know about you, but the same thing applies to your wife. She says, yeah. It's so cool. People keep on talking about big words, but this is exactly what you're supposed to experience. You know? You could say, I'm not attached, I have wisdom, but then when someone yells at you, oh, how could you yell at me? How could you attack me? How could you say I'm stupid? How could you say you better? See, all those are discriminations. They are not markless. Anything else?
Yes, thank you, Master. From Null 1596, a question. Master, if I say something is empty, does that mean there is still a mark of a thing?
For you, yes. You still have this discrimination of emptiness. Yes, 7. You see, and I'll give you personal answers. You cannot throw words at me. I look at you, I know where you are. So you cannot use words to confuse me. Yes, 7.
Yeah, thank you so much. 南无多真师父。我觉得空跟无相都是一样的，因为比如说那个什么水中热，水里面的热量，真还是假？请问 还有那个镜子里面的花。水中月，间中花，间中花。
I'm not sure I understand his Chinese. Go ahead, translation.
Shall I translate or Zhi Hong can translate?
Is Zhi Hong there?
Oh, it's okay. Let me say talk to Master. Okay. Look like the moon is in the water. Is that the real one, all right? The moon in the water.
No. No, it's not that.
Not that. Like the flower inside the mirror.
No. Those are, you have too much junk in your head as you're confused. It's not that at all. We're talking about Mahayana concepts, not the moon and water crap that the Zen people and the Chan people, some Chan people talk about. That's nonsense. This is much more advanced. This is much, much more precise. There's no moon and the water. Nonsense. That's for low-level people. We're talking about very profound concepts that we're trying to explain to you in very simple terms. If you understand the simple terms, you will be able to understand at your level right now. And when you improve, you understand at the same words that I described to you, non-discrimination. You understand more than Lyo just talked about. Okay? How do we know you understand more? Because there's a change in you. She described it herself. She said she used to be afflicted by a husband yelling at her. It's not fun to be yelled at. And now she says, when I'm yelled at, what do? I go to my navel and I can ignore it as if nothing happened. Meaning what? She's no longer being attached to not being yelled at. Meaning that she doesn't discriminate anymore about being yelled at or not. Before, she walked around saying, don't you dare yell at me. I done nothing wrong. How could you possibly yell at me? There's discrimination there. What does it have to do with the moon and the water, finger pointing at the moon? That's nonsense. Talking about a state of being, free of afflictions, not here. This is your thinking, your imagination. When someone comes to you and say, hey, why did you do that? And you're not afflicted. That's marklessness. It has nothing to do with the finger pointing in the moon. Why is it important to you? Because if you understand that, then when you're tired, you say, what tiredness? And it goes away. You are in control of your life, not some idiots who try to make you tired, who would attack you to make you tired, like your sickness ghosts. That's why we're doing this. Who's in charge? Me! What headache? None! You yourself have this distinction, this attachment to, I'm sick, I don't want to be sick. That's why you cannot let go of your sickness. That's why they harass you day and night. What it has to do with the finger pointed in the moon? How is it useful to you? Absolutely useless concepts. Dump it. Why do you hang on to those stupid concepts for? There's nothing for you. You're sick. Your body is sick. What are you doing about it? To fix it. Understanding junk is not going to help save your life. You save yourself by enduring suffering. That's the only way. By taking losses. Does it help? Non-discrimination. Because what happened to having Mark is that you discriminate. You woman, you Korean, you Filipino, you something else. You know? The discrimination is that's what we do constantly. You, not me. I'm different from you. There's this constant discrimination from us. I'm not you. You're not me. There's always that discrimination. Yes? That's why you are not markless. That's why you have no wisdom. Empty in yourself is not going to help you solve it because you tend to become attached to emptiness. That's why in Mahayana, we don't teach you emptiness, we teach you about marklessness. Because marklessness contains emptiness. Emptiness is contained within marklessness. That's why we can go to a country, look at all the temples, oh, how beautiful. But you know what? They're meaningless to us. While they are attached to it. They don't realize it, but they're attached to it. They're proud of it. They say, so how big is your temple? How many disciples do you have? They're attached to marks. Understand the difference, old monk? I will send you there to teach them that. They understand emptiness, but they're attached to it. They're attached to their results. Unknowingly. So there's those stupid disciples of Master Chewa, they're attached to their results. It's nothing. I don't want you to ever be attached to what you have. That's not us. It's nothing. It can be better. That's my explanation to you. It could be much better. Don't be attached to it yet. It's like Daniel saying, apple is the best thing that happened to me. Then what happened to him? He's Catholic forever. Would you want to be like that? Am I getting my point across to you? Whatever you do, experience, enjoy the food, enjoy the thing, but ultimately you don't want to be attached to it. There's nothing wrong with them people to enjoy the temples, their disciples, their money, the golden offerings and so forth, the gold and the relics and whatever, but don't be attached. That's all. That's marklessness. You have it, but you don't discriminate it. Is that clear? Huh? And I hope you become less attached to your relics as well. Don't be so attached to relics because it's all you talk about for an hour. Come on, man. Why are you so attached to it? It's nice to have it, but so what? 9.
Thank you, Master. So could we just review your response to Leo? So asking for a friend, Say someone's wife yells at them and they get afflicted. So I should my friend should stare at their belly button?
Her level right now is that she's able to go and to use her kung fu not to get afflicted. That's real. Same thing when you're sick. When he's sick, when he's not feeling well, does he have enough kung fu to empty himself so that he does not, the not well feeling doesn't bother him anymore? When you have a headache and you say, I need to rest. Okay? So what do? You meditate, so you empty yourself so that it's no more headache. You continue to do what you need to do. That's real, not just a concept. I'm empty, but I'm sick as hell as well. What's emptiness? What use is it for you? You really, when you're sick, when you're under attack, and you're not feeling well, you empty yourself, and that's how you recover. That's what you are developing the skills to do. And for that to happen, we have to let them attack you. You understand? That's how you develop skills, because of necessity, not because of concepts. So you need to have a husband that yells at you, and you get afflicted, and then you say, I don't want to be afflicted. Then you find a way to not get afflicted. That's Buddhism. It's not something, is the moon finger pointing to the moon. Is it me who's reciting? Who gives a damn about that? Huh? Understand? So Mark, a question from JC.
광호님 질문입니다. 참매력이 높아짐에 따라서 무상에 대해 실질적인 이해도, 체험도가 가까워지는 것인가요?
This question is from Kwang-ho. As our samadhi level increases, can we experience and understand more marklessness?
Of course. The more you improve, the closer you get to marklessness is the bottom line. If right now someone yells at you and you're afflicted, then you're not there yet. So keep at it. Keep improving. Okay. Yes, 9.
Thank you, Master. Only in the spirit of intending to perfect your non-discrimination definition, could it also be unbiased?
That's my problem with most monks I met. I went to the temple, they think they're better than me. So they're attached to the mark of being better, aren't they? Does it make sense to you? Just like he went to their temples and they say, I'm better than you. Okay? You're here to try and get money from me, get things from me. And don't you ever dare be like that. Okay? Because you are attached. That's why in our temple, welcome everyone. Everyone. Not because you're useful, because we welcome everyone. We don't discriminate whether you're useful or not, the good or not. Everyone is welcome. Pale face, yellow face, black face, it doesn't matter to us. Welcome everyone. We're practicing marklessness, aren't we? Okay. Yes, 9.
Thank you, Master. YouTube question from Sarah B. What is the difference between no attachment and no discrimination?
I'm using the word no discrimination because there's an attachment that makes you discriminate. So when you have no discrimination, means you have zero attachment whatsoever, including attachment to emptiness. Okay, so if you wish, you could say that marklessness would be non-discrimination, which is also equals to no attachments. Okay, it's the same. Okay, I prefer to use non-discrimination because I'm trying to point out to you that your mind is constantly discriminating. You are not Korean. You are not Vietnamese. You are not a woman. You are not a man. You're constantly discriminating. It's easy for you to understand. If I talk about attachment, it's still an abstract concept for you. But discrimination is what you do constantly. You look, you're poor, I'm rich. You're not successful, I am. You're dumb, I'm smart. It's always that discrimination going on in inside of us. We don't look at it, we don't necessarily look at it as an attachment, but you say, hey, discrimination is normal. No, it's not. What about equanimity? Equanimity, let me give you a definition. My definition, if you wish, is no expectations. Meaning that if I just taught you, our Dharma is to give, right? To give. I should have no expectation you give to me. That's equanimity. Is it clear? That's what it sneaks in. Equanimity is that, hey, this relic is nicer than the other. This one has more energy than the others. This one is bigger than the others, and so forth. You're not practicing equanimity. That's what happens to you when you have expectations. You come to my temple expecting something, and that's why you have problems. You come to the temple, drop expectations, drop discriminations. That's what these people do. You can do it too here at the temple. Don't discriminate so much. Don't expect so much. She comes to my temple expecting she gets something out of it. Get some benefits out of it. Go to the Pure Land or whatever. Yes? That's non-equanimity. You don't have to expect anything. You come to the temple, we take care of it. Why do you have to expect? Is it clear? You do whatever you taught to go to the Pure Land. Why do you have to expect anymore? If you really have faith, you say, if I did what he told me to do, then that's going to happen. Do you believe or not? I tell you a funny thing. When Master Shinxin's brother died several years ago, I felt responsible. It was partially my fault. The other half is Master Hsuan disciples, because he's not my disciple. He is only here to learn from me. Okay? And he learned from me. Actually, he did not learn much from me. He made offerings to me. Didn't want to learn much. Okay? He just was more interested in making offerings. That's all. He went to temples, making offerings to everyone. Okay? Whoever needs help, offerings, he'll make offerings. Okay? And so I helped him go to the Pure Land very quickly. Special Pure Land Express. Okay? So now, several years later, it's her father now. And I told her that he came from the Pure Land, he came here in order to take care of his parents and his sister. That's his wish. So when he's done taking care of his parents, their rebirth and their financial stability, he cannot stay here anymore because his level is too low. His blessing is too high. Therefore, he has to go back. He doesn't have to suffer. That's what happened. So he went back to the Pure Land. But the parents have to suffer for another several years. Now the dad died. Okay? And I told the mother Saturday, that it's Friday and Saturday, that the husband went to the Pure Land already. Another express train. Okay? And I told her, I said, he was so happy to see your son. Your son was so happy to see you, to see him. Isn't that a wonderful Dharma? And you don't get there by the reason you get there because we're practicing marklessness and equanimity. Because if I didn't, let me tell you, if I don't practice equanimity, I expect you to give me your entire fortune, to sell your sons and your daughters into slavery to pay for this. Do you understand? And how do you dare come to my temple and expect anything out of me? Grow up. That's talking about marklessness and equanimity. Questions or comments? And the mother was very happy. She's Christian, doesn't believe any of this. Okay? Half of the ceremony is done by a church, half is done by us. We have no problem. We have no expectation. We have no discriminations. Whatever they want to do, we do. Okay? But think about what the Dharma does for her family. What does it tell you? Wouldn't you think if she said, maybe when it's my time to go, I'd like to go pay them a visit? Well, Danielle is still Christian and chasing after Apple. Okay. Any other thing? Any other questions or comments? Okay. So back to slide 914. Go for us.
Hello, Master. So we listen to your teaching and Dharma talk every day, and we try to remind ourselves to apply what you teach us into real life. But to my level specifically, I have to constantly remind myself, oh, I should not think like this, I should not do this. So I still have discriminations heavily on my daily. So what is the best way to, to make it become an instinct instead of, instead of where I'm right now, I'm at the stage that like I have to remind myself.
You're very good. It's very good. You're reminding yourself. Okay. Usually what happens is that until it really bothers you, you won't notice. When you have a problem that really bothers you, okay, that's when all this will become useful to you. In other words, you're doing just fine. Continue. That's all. It takes time. All right? These people, well, you know, these people are way ahead of you. They are 10 years ahead of you. So it takes time for you to absorb it and to be able to appreciate it. Okay? It will happen. Nothing to worry about. The only thing you have to do is keep it up, and not quit, no matter how hard it is. It starts first with crossing your legs. It hurts like hell, but you're not going to quit. Meaning that you can endure it longer and longer and longer, that's all, before you quit. And one day, you won't quit anymore. That's part of the training. All right? Now, we all are diligently trying to improve ourselves, me included. So I'm not different from you. I'm learning from this as well. I'm reminding myself about these principles. And Master YongHua is one of the rare few individuals that is able to do it 24 hours a day. I have my lapses too. All right? You're doing fine, is a summary. Try your best. That's what Master YongHua used to say. Try your best. Work harder, that's all. And it will happen naturally. There's no need to say, how come, how much longer I have to do this? And this, what we're practicing is a sudden teaching Dharma. It doesn't matter. Eventually, when you have enough blessings, it clicked just like that. So even though a person may be practicing only for a short time period, but it may click and they can become enlightened just like that. So it varies from person to person. Nothing to worry about. You just plug along, plan your blessings, work hard. And I notice that you young people have been coming to the temple regularly every night. That's pretty impressive. Very, very difficult thing to do, let me assure you. Very, very difficult, including the ones who sign on to the internet and so forth. And that's incredible that you're able to follow night after night after night. It takes a lot of blessings, trust me. You know, like our fearless leader used to say, you know, you are very special. It's true. He didn't mean it, but I mean it. It helps sometimes to remind ourselves, yes, we're special. It's so difficult, think about it. You know, because you're practicing marklessness. I cannot praise you too often because then you expect to be praised. So that's why I teach you equanimity. Don't expect me to praise you. No expectations, remember? Yeah. I treat everyone the same way. Okay? It doesn't matter how short you are. Right, Shorty? Okay. So very simple in your daily life. When you're able to have less, to discriminate less, to have fewer expectations, okay? That's how you are progressing along. That's all. And this particular, I'm back on slide 914, this particular heaven, heaven of vast fruition and a great self-mastery, believe it or not, that's where the 7th and 8th ground bodhisattvas reside. And there's a lot of them here in our world. After they die, they can go directly up there if they wish. Okay? And they don't need to go through King Yama. They can go directly, go up there. And that's why these, as you can imagine, because they're there, their leaders, the heavenly kings, are no small potatoes themselves in order to serve these residents. Do you understand? Because unless they are treated properly, then their benefit that they are not the beings there and the kings there are not creating offenses. The bodhisattvas will not go up there. Does it make sense? So this is a place for very special individuals like all of you in our temples. Okay. Oh, now I'm frozen. Okay, it must be a signal it's the end of the lecture. It's not cooperating anymore. What did you do to me? What did I do to you? Like my disciple likes to tell me, what did I do to you? Oh, it's the end of the files? Hey. This section here would tell us more. And this is still chapter 1, but it's general description of the awesome deportment, in particular the kinds of how they behave themselves. We only saw their adornments, what they look like and so forth, what they have. Now, how do they behave? How they carry themselves? Would you like to know? Oh, that's the son said, hey man, Mom, when are you going home? At that time, the oceanic multitudes at the Bodhimanda of the thus come one had all gathered like clouds.
尔时如来道场众海，悉以云集。
Okay, so at the time, there are lots of big shots gathering there like clouds. Okay, oceanic multitudes, meaning that as vast as the ocean, countless beings, including Eightfold Divisions, that's sages and worthies and so forth. You learn about worthies later. Don't worry, these are words eventually. You get used to them. Okay, and it gives you a perspective of how huge this gathering is, and how many big shots there are in the universe. A lot more than we think of ourselves as important. We're nothing. We're nobody. We're not that important. When are you going to wake up to that? Huh? None of us is that important. It's how big these beings are. Huh? They're doing important things so that we have a chance to learn about this kind of wisdom. 7. Beings of boundless types and species, surrounded and filled the Bodhimanda, each unique in form and retinue.
无边品类，周匝遍满，形色不从，各个差别。
Okay, commentary. It's not like they're there and bring their wives and children with them. Isn't that what you like to do? No. Family is of secondary importance. They're there because they have some work to do, and they brought their own retinues. The groupies, if you will, I like to call them. And the different, boundless types and species of living beings, meaning that more than just white and yellow human beings, is all. They also spirits and ghosts and and all sorts of beings represented. They're there, and they may look like they're dragons or birds and so forth. They actually are bodhisattvas. Isn't it fascinating? And not only there are all kinds of things, but they brought their own retinues, meaning they left their wives home. Okay, children home. They're there because it's a very formal event, a very big event for the big shots to take care of important matters in the universe. 9. From every direction they followed and drew near the world-honored one to admire him with one heart.
为所来方，亲近世尊，一心瞻仰。
You see, it sounds so simple, but this is, this is how they feel from inside. What do? From all over the universe, okay? They heard of the Buddha, and so they follow him wherever he went. They have the ability. Wherever the Buddha is, says, poof, I want to go there. And they follow him like groupies. Groupies. We can sort of call you like groupies because no one would be stupid enough to go and Dharma lectures every night. Come on, that's not normal. Okay, so they followed and drew near. drew near is a key. What does it say that the Buddha has to do anything for them? They're given the chance to draw near the Well-Honored One. They took advantage of it. It's like you come and say, what did you do for me? You always asking, what are you doing for me? What's in it for me? They, in contrast, the people wisdom says, I want to draw near the Well-Honored One. You always ask, what is it for me? What benefit do I get out of you? They are just the opposite. I just want to be near the Well-Honored One. Because it's an incredible opportunity. It's a funny thing. Like, I'm fascinated by the chefs. It's one of the worst professions in the world. It's chaos in the kitchen. It's dirty. It's nasty people. Okay? And yet, in that midst of chaos and anarchy, they're able to produce these masterpieces. So beautiful to me. And then they only need to be appreciated at that moment. You cannot reheat them. Cannot microwave them. You have to eat it right there. So that's perishable art. Highly perishable art. It's fantastic. They put all their being into that. Especially Michelin star chefs. It's them, They stand there and say, tuna, salad. And they come and service. It's fascinating to me. You know how they got there? It helps, absolutely. There's something wrong with them. Mentally unstable. It takes us unstable people to thrive in such an environment. My point being that they got the training, they got the inspiration by drawing near the great chefs. The majority of them had to get apprenticeship by a great chef, under a great chef. And that's why when you look at Master YongHua, when he came here, all his disciples drew near him. Okay, and look at how they become as compared to the disciples of the other Dharma masters. There's a huge difference. The ability, the opportunity to draw near Master YongHua is what made them who they are today. Do you get my point? That's why these people, these beings, drew near the Well-Honored One. That's the Dharma. And when they're there, he's so adorned because the Buddha is using his reward body, Nishayana Buddha, to lecture the sutra. His huge 10,000-foot, reward body. Meaning very, very tall body. You can't even see the top of the body and the body in its entirety. Okay, and that's what the Buddha used. Very adorned body, that so adorned that bodhisattvas are very impressed by it. So, if you're bodhisattva, you look at the Nishayana Buddha, the reward body Buddha, and say, wow, that is incredible. That is beauty. I don't need to go see travel. I don't need to go see Beijing Ju. I don't need to go see any operas. I don't need to go, sightseeing at all. Looking at the Buddha himself is just, that's all the beauty in the world I care to look at. It's different world. You understand? Compared to ours. Ours is so limited, so small, so petty. Okay? And so now we go into the revelation of virtuous deeds and causal conditions. What do they do? Because in order to be there as world rulers, they need to justify their presence, need to earn it. Similarly, if they want him to come back, they need to do something to earn it. You understand? Once, but not twice. We all have to earn our way. So what are they doing to be world rulers? Wouldn't you like to know? 12. Already this congregation had abandoned the various afflictions, mental impurities, and their residual habits.
是诸众会已离一切烦恼心垢及其余行。
Okay, so 13. All this beings there, surrounding the Buddha to listen to the lecture, had forsaken their afflictions, meaning they do not want to burden others with their afflictions. You always look at your afflictions, you, me. Dhamma said, no, I don't want to burden you with my afflictions. You always about you, okay? I don't like it. Why do you yell at me? Why don't you like me? Aren't you respectful towards me? And so forth. For them, they have no more afflictions to deserve to be there. You see, because you have a lot of affliction, they will show you the door. Go, 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 go. Is that clear? Mental impurities. Mental impurities here all go from very, very evil things to even thoughts. They don't even think. Okay, they have no thoughts. And their residual habits. Residual habits refers to our individual habit energies from a Chinese person, has Chinese residual habits, okay? Chiu-Chao person, okay? And so forth. Where we came from, we carry a lot of baggage ourselves. That's called residual habits. We carry a baggage with us, don't you? When you travel, how many pieces of baggage do you carry? Have you noticed? That's residual habits. Jane, how many pieces of luggage did you bring here? From Canada.
One carry-on and one messenger bag.
Messenger bag, see? 2 bags. Okay? When I go to Korea for a month, I carry 1 carry-on. Okay? And it's not full. I'm very proud to say. See, that's residual habits. Meaning you need to have those. That's baggage. Yes, 9.
Thank you, Master. So I am understanding this congregation includes the eightfold division that we just learned about.
Yes.
And so that means, thank you. And so that means that they also have various afflictions and residual baggage?
No, they pretend to be eightfold division. Actually, they're Mahasattvas. They're very advanced beings. They're far more advanced than we are. It's just like you sort of have to wonder, what are we doing, listening, learning about them? It's a real treat to be able to be aware of such beings exist. We should be more humble. We're not as important as we think we are. You know? You go ahead and go for us. Last question.
A quick one. The eightfold divisions in that assembly, that's different from the ones that maybe for in our home or in our temples, right? They all call the same thing, but there are different types of them. Or
They're different. Like Americans, eightfold division is like the presidents, vice presidents, the ones who are present there. Okay, they're like higher status. Whereas for us Americans, like the rest of the Dhamma is like me, who are like beggars. So they're at the other end of the spectrum. Okay, so that's a difference. Yet near the Buddha's assemblies, there are really superior beings who are exemplary and who earn that place there. The place is there. Okay, thank you everyone. We stop here tonight, and thank you all.